question I pose is, should Caitlin Clark be remaining loyal to the WNBA? That is a real question for us to figure out as we kind of go through the WNBA plans with this new league as well. Let's get into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video. Let's get right into things. So here it says, new women's pro development league will give NCAA players more opportunities. Here it says, a lot of attention has been paid to the launch of Project B.
The shocking truth.
All right, so picture this. Caitlin Clark's future in the WNBA, something that was once considered an absolute certainty, a truly sacred bond for fans, is now hanging on by the thinnest, most fragile thread imaginable. Her loyalty, which has always been unwavering, is facing its ultimate, defining test right now. We're witnessing a perfect storm brewing, a combination of what frankly looks like outright negligence from the league, coupled with these incredible, revolutionary new opportunities appearing on the horizon. This isn't just making a dramatic exit plausible, it's making it disturbingly, unsettlingly inevitable. The WNBA finds itself at a critical crossroads, a true make-or-break moment, and their absolute biggest star, their golden goose, might already be quietly eyeing the door. Her patience, it seems, has been stretched to its absolute limit, worn thin by a league that appears almost determined to undervalue the very talent that's generating unprecedented attention. And let me tell you, this isn't some wild speculation. The pieces are undeniably falling into place, painting a clear picture of a potential departure that won't just make headlines, it will completely rewrite the entire landscape of women's basketball.
Basketball history.
New women's pro development league will give NCAA players more opportunities. Here it says, a lot of attention has been paid to the launch of Project B, a professional 5-on-5 women's league that is expected to begin play November 2026. Despite ongoing concerns surrounding the league's perceived lack of clarity about operations and funding, a lot of that attention is justified because Project B has already managed to sign some major WNBA talent. Now, we've seen Project B sign WNBPA president Nneka Ogwumike, Sophie Cunningham, Kelsey Mitchell.
The backdrop to...
Now, one of the biggest forces contributing to this brewing storm is the ongoing WNBA-CBA negotiations. What's unsettling is the absolute silence surrounding them. Seriously, we're hearing nothing, no good news, no updates, just this pervasive quiet that's leaving both devoted fans and the players themselves completely in limbo. People are genuinely questioning whether a season will even happen this year, and that kind of uncertainty is incredibly dangerous. It creates this fertile ground for players, especially those who hold immense leverage, the league's biggest names, to seriously reconsider where their allegiances lie. Think about it. When a league shows this much instability, it's practically openly inviting its stars to look for alternatives, to explore options beyond the traditional structures they've always known. This isn't just a minor issue, it's a situation that could prove absolutely catastrophic for the WNBA's future dominance in women's basketball. The cracks are undeniably showing, and frankly, the league's foundation feels increasingly precarious. This makes any player's long-term commitment, particularly someone like Caitlin Clark, a very genuine and pressing concern.
Clark, and she has ultimately turned them down, and that is another reason why Caitlin Clark is a huge part of this entire situation. Here it says, but there's another professional basketball women's basketball league debuting in the summer of 2026, and this one may mean more to players who will be leaving college that month. Upshot, which is backed by Zoyer Sports and Entertainment, will begin its season in May 2026. The league will be led by former WNBA president Donna Arender and has the financial backing of a group that includes Cheryl Miller. Perhaps more importantly, it's being described as a type
into this void.
But wait, there's more to this story. Enter Project B, a truly formidable professional 5-on-5 women's league that's slated to launch in November. Now, initially, there were some concerns, right? Questions about its operational clarity, where exactly the funding was coming from. But let me tell you, Project B has already made incredibly significant waves that completely blew those early doubts out of the water. They've been on a mission, aggressively securing major WNBA talent. We're talking high-profile names here. Nneka Ogwumike, Sophie Cunningham, Kelsey Mitchell, and Liz Thomas are just a few of the established stars who have already made the jump, leaving the WNBA behind. This isn't just players switching teams. This mass exodus is a powerful validation of Project B's ambitious vision and, crucially, its undeniable financial appeal. This burgeoning competitor is actively siphoning off established stars, signaling a massive and undeniable shift in the entire basketball landscape. It's directly challenging the WNBA's long-held, unchallenged monopoly on top-tier women's basketball talent. And in doing so, it's creating an unprecedented dilemma for players who now have more options than ever before.
And fans alike is that rosters simply aren't built to accommodate all of the talent that could exist in the league. As a result, some first-round picks don't always end up in the league, and most second and third round picks opt to play overseas or stop playing basketball entirely. There's a lot of really good players who just stopped after college. I think somebody like who was it? Haley Cavender was really good at Miami. I think she averaged like 20 points a game, but she's small. She didn't get a shot. There's a lot of good players who just kind of stopped. And
here's where it gets really interesting, where it directly impacts Caitlin Clark. Critically, Project B made a colossal play for her, swinging for the absolute fences with an offer that was reportedly worth millions, and I mean millions of dollars. To put that in perspective, that's a life-changing sum for any athlete, especially in women's basketball. Yet, despite that staggering offer, she staunchly turned them down, completely reaffirming her initial, heartfelt commitment to the WNBA. This decision, however, wasn't a blank check for the league to do whatever it wanted. Absolutely not. Instead, it was a profound testament to her lifelong dream. A dream she's harbored since childhood, one that the WNBA now, ironically, seems almost intent on shattering through a relentless barrage of repeated slights and deeply ingrained institutional failure. Her initial emphatic rejection of Project B, that deep loyalty, it actually makes the subsequent mistreatment she's endured all the more egregious, all the more baffling. And let's be honest, the eventual breaking point, if it comes, will be all the more tragic for the sport.
For the league.
and Wave and those who just missed the draft entirely. Now, there's plenty of good players. We saw Bree Hall get drafted from the University of South Carolina, get drafted by the Indiana Fever, and get cut in training camp. The Upshot League would be a good developmental place for them to be able to keep eyes on her, for her to be able to play and develop and be able to get called up to the W. I think it would be a really, really good idea. The inaugural Upshot season is 4 months, something that could drain athletes since there are only 4 teams, 20 games that will be played at home, and 20 games will be played on the road. So this is a new...
But get this, Project B isn't the only new player stepping onto the scene to challenge the status quo. There's also a second professional women's basketball league, aptly named Upshot, and it's set to debut in May. This isn't just another competitor, it's offering a truly distinct and potentially game-changing alternative that could completely reshape the career paths for countless athletes. Upshot is backed by some serious players, specifically Zoyer Sports and Entertainment, and it's being led by none other than former WNBA president Donna Render herself, which, let me tell you, lends immense credibility. Plus, it has significant financial support from influential figures like basketball legend Cheryl Miller. So you see, Upshot isn't merely another league trying to grab a piece of the pie. What makes it so compelling is that it represents a different kind of opportunity altogether, one that's specifically targeting a critical, unmet need within the current professional basketball ecosystem. We're talking about potentially offering a vital lifeline to countless talented athletes who are currently being overlooked, undervalued, and frankly left behind by the existing system.
Over $20 million via other leagues. From Unrivaled, Project B, Ice Cube, and the Big Three, she's turned down over $20 million, right? Now, granted, she's making a lot of money in endorsements and all that good stuff, but $20 million is $20 million. That's a lot of money to turn down. My thing is this, and this is the question I pose. Should Caitlin Clark continue to turn down money and offers from these other leagues to stay loyal to the WNBA? Really think about it. Now, I'm just trying to give you both.
Now, let's unpack what Upshot truly represents, because it's a huge deal. This league is explicitly being framed as a crucial G League or developmental league specifically designed for college graduates. Think about it. This is a truly crucial stepping stone for all those incredibly talented players who, for whatever reason, don't immediately crack a WNBA roster straight out of college. This innovative approach directly addresses a significant shortfall that the WNBA has ignored for too long. It provides a much-needed domestic pathway for exceptional collegiate talent to not only continue playing professionally right here in the US, but also to genuinely develop their skills in a competitive environment. Upshot offers a structured, professional setting for these players to hone their game, remain highly visible to WNBA scouts, and crucially, potentially earn that coveted call-up to the big league. This is something, and I cannot stress this enough, that the WNBA has notoriously failed to provide, leaving countless stars with literally nowhere to go, no clear path after their college careers end. It's a gaping hole that Upshot is poised to fill.
Is being targeted, being disrespected, having all of her fans called racist no matter what race they are. She's been the most flagrantly fouled player in the league. They don't call any fouls for her. All the players are jealous of her and take shots at her. What is she staying loyal to at this point? It's not like she's making top dollar over there. She's making 60, 70, 80K. It's not like she's making top dollar being in the league. Kathy Engelbert, we don't know if what Kathy said allegedly to Nafisa Collier is true or not. We don't know.
The WNBA's persistent roster problem, honestly, has been a glaring flaw in the league's structure for an incredibly long time. Simply put, there just aren't enough roster spots to accommodate the sheer volume of talent coming through. And here's what's truly shocking. This often means that even first-round draft picks, players with immense potential and hype, frequently don't secure a place on a team. Meanwhile, the vast majority of second and third rounders are forced into a terrible choice. Either play overseas, far from home, or, heartbreakingly, abandon their basketball dreams entirely. Upshot directly confronts this systemic issue head-on, offering a legitimate and compelling path for these exceptional athletes to continue their careers right here, stateside. The WNBA's continuous failure to properly accommodate and nurture its own talent pool has undeniably created this vacuum, this desperate need for alternatives. And now, Upshot is perfectly positioned to fill that void, offering a truly compelling alternative that not only empowers players but also starkly highlights the WNBA's deep-seated structural deficiencies. It's a wake-up call, and it's loud.
To Collier is true or not. We don't know. But what we do know is Kathy Engelbert has been negligent when it came to Caitlin Clark. She wasn't ready. She wasn't ready. She didn't even make sure that Caitlin Clark was on the damn Olympic team. She doesn't make sure that the refs call a fair game for her when she is the prized possession of the league. She is the golden goose. Kathy Engelbert has done everything to try to make the success of the WNBA about her and not Caitlin Clark. What is Caitlin Clark staying loyal to? That is a legitimate question. I understand. I want to see Caitlin Clark ball in the WNBA as well.
Let's talk about specific examples because they truly paint a picture of this problem. Consider players like Haley Cavendor, a standout from Miami who was averaging an impressive 20 points per game. Her professional aspirations, despite her undeniable skill, were tragically curtailed by something as arbitrary as her height, vividly illustrating how seemingly minor factors can completely derail incredibly promising careers. Then there's Bray Hall, who was actually drafted by the Indiana Fever, only to be brutally cut during training camp, a harsh, immediate reality check that far too many hopeful athletes face. This is precisely where Upshot provides such a vital developmental space for these athletes. It allows them to remain firmly on the radar of scouts, play competitive games, and crucially, keep their WNBA dreams not just alive, but actively within reach. It's a second chance, a lifeline, that the WNBA desperately needs to provide, but let's be honest, never has. This failure has inadvertently created incredibly fertile ground for alternative leagues like Upshot to absolutely thrive. Now, on that note, Upshot's inaugural season is set to span 4 months, featuring a robust schedule of 20 home and 20 away games. And here's a massive detail. They plan to sign 44 players across their initial 4 teams in Jacksonville, Savannah, Greensboro, and Charlotte, with a Baltimore team joining in. Think about what that actually means in practice. That's 44 brand new professional spots for athletes who absolutely deserve a shot, including those drafted in 2025 who might unfortunately miss WNBA rosters, or those who, even more dishearteningly, went undrafted entirely. This robust, well-thought-out structure truly demonstrates a serious commitment to player development and opportunity, directly contrasting the WNBA's notoriously limited entry points. It's creating a genuine, viable career alternative for aspiring professionals, a stark difference to the bottleneck currently in place. And this brings us back to the heart of the matter. Caitlin Clark. We already know, and this is truly wild, that she has rejected over $20 million in offers from rival leagues like Unrivaled, Project B, and even Ice Cube's Big Three. Now let me be crystal clear. This staggering sum is not just pocket change. This represents a monumental, almost unfathomable financial sacrifice on her part, a sacrifice deeply rooted in her unwavering, deep-seated loyalty to the WNBA and her cherished childhood dream. She is making astronomical sacrifices for a league that currently pays her a mere $60,800 a year, a tiny, tiny fraction of her potential earnings elsewhere. This stark financial disparity casts an incredibly harsh light on the WNBA's actual value proposition to its biggest star, forcing us to ask a critical, unavoidable question. What exactly is she protecting by staying? And is it truly worth it? The undeniable question that must be posed right now to the entire WNBA and to Clark herself is precisely this. Why should Caitlin Clark continue to turn down millions of dollars and remain loyal to an organization that seems determined to undermine her? Her unwavering commitment, as we know, stems from that lifelong dream, idolizing legends like Maya Moore. However, since her sensational arrival, she has been met with an incessant onslaught of targeting, outright disrespect, and blatant unfairness, both on and off the court. The personal toll this must be taking on her is immense, making her continued sacrifice increasingly inexplicable, especially when you juxtapose it with the immense, life-changing financial opportunity she is actively rejecting. Her loyalty, once boundless, is rapidly becoming a dwindling resource, being carelessly squandered by a short-sighted league that simply doesn't seem to get it. The evidence of this disrespect, sadly, is undeniable. Caitlin Clark has consistently been, without a doubt, the most flagrantly fouled player in the league. Yet, officials seem to turn a blind eye, failing to call fouls that would be instantly whistled for literally any other player on the court. This systemic bias is horrifying because it not only endangers her physical well-being, seriously, she's taking a beating, but it also signals a tacit approval of aggressive, unchecked play against her. This diminishes her impact, frustrates her fans, and sends a crystal-clear, devastating message. The league isn't prioritizing the protection of its biggest star. This blatant disregard for fair play is a profound insult, one that is chipping away, day by day, at any rational reason for her to remain committed to the WNBA. And if that wasn't enough, adding insult to injury, Clark and her incredibly diverse fan base have been subjected to relentless, completely baseless accusations of racism. This toxic narrative is being pushed, often regardless of the actual racial backgrounds of her fans. This isn't just about undermining her phenomenal impact, it's actively creating a hostile, unwelcoming environment around her, discouraging new fans from even bothering and alienating existing ones who feel attacked. Such widespread, unfair criticism, relentlessly amplified by various media personalities, is an insidious, subtle, yet powerful form of targeting that extends far beyond the basketball court. It's making her WNBA experience a constant, exhausting battle against unfounded negativity, and this continuous onslaught is a heavy, heavy burden, steadily eroding her passion for the game she loves and for the league she joined. Furthermore, there's this palpable, undeniable jealousy emanating from other players, a constant, undercurrent that's impossible to ignore. Many of them are taking veiled, and sometimes even directly aggressive shots at her in interviews and all over social media. This behavior, honestly, creates an incredibly unwelcoming, almost hostile locker room culture and further isolates her, despite the undeniable fact that her singular presence is driving unprecedented viewership and revenue for the entire league. Instead of embracing their biggest asset, their golden ticket, many players seem resentful, actively contributing to a deeply uncomfortable and unprofessional atmosphere. What's worse is that this internal friction, rather than being actively managed and addressed by the league, appears to be implicitly tolerated, if not outright encouraged, by the league's own leadership. It's a complete dereliction of duty. And let's not forget Commissioner Cathy Engelberg. Her alleged negligence has been an absolutely critical factor in this entire unfolding drama. Her shocking failure to even ensure Caitlin Clark was considered for the Olympic team was a monumental misstep, a truly stunning oversight when you consider Clark is the league's undeniable prize possession. It demonstrated a shocking lack of foresight and a baffling inability to capitalize on what was a once-in-a-generation opportunity to showcase its brightest star on the global stage. This glaring lapse in judgment highlighted a disturbing pattern of mismanagement that directly impacts Clark's career trajectory and, let me tell you, severely damages her faith in the league's entire leadership structure. Beyond the Olympic team debacle, Engelberg has also faced widespread criticism for her continued failure to ensure fair officiating for Clark. As the league's literal golden goose, the player bringing in millions of new eyes and dollars, Clark should be afforded the utmost protection and a truly level playing field. Instead, she endures constant brutal physicality without any consequence whatsoever for her opponents. And while the commissioner remains silent, this inaction isn't just negligence. It's a profound betrayal of the league's fundamental responsibility to its most valuable asset. It creates an environment where Clark is disproportionately targeted, physically and emotionally, without any recourse or intervention. Such blatant disregard for her safety and fair play is, quite frankly, inexcusable. It appears that Engelberg, rather than intelligently leveraging Caitlin Clark's unparalleled popularity and magnetic appeal to elevate the entire WNBA to new heights, has instead, disturbingly, focused on making the league's newfound success about her own leadership. This self-serving approach, one that openly prioritizes personal accolades and public image over the fundamental welfare and fair treatment of the league's absolute biggest draw, only further alienates Clark and her massive, devoted fanbase. The WNBA's current boom is undeniably, unequivocally fueled by Caitlin Clark. Yet the commissioner seems intent on diminishing her impact, creating a deep, dangerous rift between the league's public face and its single most valuable player, a situation that logically cannot and will not hold indefinitely. So, with all these monumental factors converging, the WNBA's unsettling instability, the exciting emergence of genuinely viable alternative leagues like Upshot and Project B offering life-changing millions, and the incessant disrespect, targeting, and undeniable negligence emanating from within the WNBA itself. We have to ask, what exactly is Caitlin Clark staying loyal to? This isn't an abstract query. It's a legitimate, urgent, and deeply personal question that demands an honest answer. Her loyalty has been tested, stretched to its absolute breaking point, and seemingly exploited at every turn. At what precise moment does a cherished childhood dream inevitably morph into a suffocating nightmare? And at what point does unwavering loyalty dangerously transform into outright self-sabotage? The current trajectory she's on is simply unsustainable for any athlete, let alone one of her generational caliber. At some inevitable, logical point, Caitlin Clark will be compelled to reevaluate her options. She will have to seriously consider these incredibly lucrative alternative leagues that are actively pursuing her. If the consistent, infuriating negligence from the Indiana Fever's higher-ups and the WNBA commissioner persists, if they continue to actively undermine her well-being and her career, her decision, sadly, will become crystal clear. She has been nothing short of targeted and disrespected since the very moment she stepped foot into this league, making a shocking exit not just a remote possibility, but a perfectly rational and frankly necessary move for both her long-term career and her personal well-being. The WNBA, through its actions and inaction, is undeniably forcing her hand, and the outcome, I fear, could be devastating for the league. The confirmation of Caitlin Clark's shocking WNBA exit isn't just a direct quote or a bold prediction, it's the undeniable, logical conclusion drawn from this perfect storm of circumstances that are engulfing her. The WNBA's deep structural flaws, the meteoric rise of well-funded alternative leagues, and the profound, relentless disrespect she has endured, all of these factors point inexorably to one inevitable truth. Her loyalty is being pushed beyond its breaking point. Her departure, while it would undoubtedly be seismic and send shockwaves through the entire sports world, would ultimately be a logical, self-preserving response to a league that has utterly failed to protect and properly value its single most impactful player. The real question then isn't if she'll leave, but when, and what that fateful decision will truly mean for the future of women's basketball as we know it.